to welcome you to the Wednesday version of Thought for the Day. As always, good to be with you. You know, one of the things that I think about a lot, especially over the last couple of years, is wanting to make sure that, you know, what we do here and what we say here and what we stand for really makes a difference in your life. And to me, that's what the church is. And I've discovered, as I hope you have over the past couple of years, that the church is, it's really a spirit. And I guess the benchmark of the church is whether or not what we say in church, whether or not what we stand for, whether or not what we do makes a difference in your journey through the world. Because each one of your journeys is incredibly unique. Each one of you has your own challenges that you face every day. And I really believe that wherever your journey leads, that the good Lord is there. And our calling as a church is to maybe help open our eyes and open our hearts to the way God speaks to us. And that maybe as you open your eyes and you open your heart, that you can sense that God is real in your life, that God's Spirit and what we stand for makes a difference. The words for today are from the book of 1 John, chapter 4. No one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, God abides in us, and his love is perfected in us. I think of that first line, that no one has ever seen God. And that's probably true, but we do see God. This morning I was just a lot of thoughts and feelings in my head and my heart, and I was walking down 139th Street back to my house early this morning, and it was still dark, and I looked up and there was that incredible moon. And the moon was partially hidden by the clouds, but also visible behind the clouds. And I was thinking that that's God. That's God speaking to us. I sometimes get hung up on what to say. That's ministers. We have a tendency to get too preoccupied with what we have to say. And oftentimes God speaks to us in the silence of the moment and in the silence of nature. And I saw that moon, a sign of hope. I saw the clouds that sometimes cover the moon and can cover our hope, and it's that blending of the hope and the clouds where God speaks to us. You know, you see God in so many different ways. I saw God in that moon, in those clouds. I saw God yesterday when we said goodbye to Eleanor Lalick, who would have turned 96 this week. And as she was leaving this earth, I was with her daughter and granddaughter, and I looked at Eleanor and I thought of all the things that she did for our church, and I realized that in her grace and goodness, I saw the Spirit of God at work. When I stood at the rubble of St. Paul's Lutheran Church in Beecher with the pastor, and I saw his face and I saw his prayers, I was able to see the Spirit of God. And even Sunday afternoon for First Communion, as the kids left the altar, you know, one of our Stitch and Sew ladies, Diane Palacios, she had made these T-shirts for the kids for their First Communion. And she and Ginny passed them to the kids. And I looked at Diane, and that her craftsmanship and her unselfishness in giving the kids that gift. And I saw the Spirit of God at work. And I realized that maybe God isn't as invisible as the apostle wants us to think he is, because God comes alive in the gifts of nature, in the gifts of kindness, and in the goodness of the human spirit. And when I see God come alive, that fuels my soul, and I hope gives each one of us a good dash of hope. And then I think of the second two lines in that passage: if we love one another, then God abides in us, and his love is perfected in us. I guess one of the things that I have learned, and I don't learn things very quickly sometimes, in all my years here, is that God resides in the very depth and fiber of who we are as his children. And the best way to teach people about who God is to do our best to embody that humble carpenter and his journey in the way that we treat other people. You know, there is so much anger in the world. There's lots of divisions. There's all kinds of tension. And we have all kinds of things that we've had to deal with in the past couple of years especially. And when we can step back and use our humanity to share a random act of kindness to somebody else, when we can accept the gifts of humility and grace from other people, and when those random acts of kindness come alive in the midst of all the stuff going on around us, that's where God lives. And I guess our calling each day as we get up and face another day is maybe just thinking, how can you do one or two things during the day to exude the Spirit of Jesus as he walked the streets of Galilee? And when that Spirit comes alive, that's the miracle. There's the moon, and there's the clouds, and there's the goodness and the grace that Jesus gives to each one of us. And if we can embody us, it's not perfected in us, I think, because we're not perfect, but it lives inside the heart and soul of each one of us. And when we can share that, that gives us the courage to face each day. It's always an honor to ramble with you, and I hope to join you for a few more ramblings on Friday. Thanks for listening. God bless, and have a good day.